Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to show you how to make a very simple and easy plum sauce. These may not look like your normal plums. These are what you'd call a bubblegum or a cherry plum. They're the small ones that you find kind of just wild or roaming around. People do plant these on purpose, but however, you can see that they're not all the really dark purple that you're used to when we talk about plums. These are still sweet. They can be a little bit tart, and the skin is a little bit thicker up until it turns red. Then it gets, well, I guess that kind of depends. But I had a gracious neighbor of mine that has a wild bush in his yard and said, please come grab them. I'm not going to do anything with them. So I thought, hey, we've snacked on them as much as we can, and this is what's left. So instead of throwing these out, and I don't want to give them to my chickens because the pits are very small. What we're going to do is we're going to make a plum sauce. It's just a very easy and simple, basic plum sauce. You can use it for all sorts of things, and I'll show you how we do this. Here we go. So I'm going to add all of these. I have washed them and I have taken out all of the stems. And basically we're just going to let these heat up in the pan, get nice and squishy. And when they're nice and squishy, we're going to smash them down some more to extract all that lovely flavor and the juices and the pulp so that we can make our sauce. So once that happens, I'll meet you back here. All right, these plums are now smashed down. You can see that the sauce is more of a golden on the inside than what your traditional plums would be. You're used to this nice deep purple, and it has some of the same flavors, but it's a little bit more of the tart if you've never had them before. This makes an excellent, like a golden plum sauce, and I think we've smashed most of them. Now I'm gonna remove just all of the leftover skins and the pits that we don't need, so that we can have just that lovely sauce. We just want the inside, this out. So I think we've got most of those smashed down. And these are really easy. They just kind of fall apart on their own, so it's kind of nice. Great thing to do if you have extra leftover stuff you don't know what to do with, because who wants to waste food, especially nowadays when stuff is so expensive. So we're gonna turn that down just a tad. Just kind of squeeze that out so we know we've got just the pits and the peels. And it really doesn't take too long, which is the nice thing. This is a quick thing you can do to preserve your summer harvest. Now, some of the things I was talking about that you can do with this, I'm just gonna make a simple sauce with it. I'm just gonna make a plum sauce, generic, run-of-the-mill, basic, no frills, anything. But the nice thing is, from that sauce, we can customize it if, say, you want one day to have a sauce for your egg rolls, or if you wanna have a rice dish, or if you wanna have something over ice cream, you can do that as well. Make sure I got all that. Yeah, sure did. Now that all of the pits and skins have been removed, I am going to add some Blue Agave to this. You can add regular sugar if you'd like. I'm choosing not to today, but if you are using agave, just remember not to use as much as you would for like regular sugar, because it is very sweet. And I probably start out with about a 1/4 cup, just because you don't know how sweet your batch is gonna be versus my batch. So we're gonna just start there and then test it. Now, because I know that I'm only gonna use this for sauce, once I got it to the right sweetness for my taste and my family's taste, I probably would thicken it up a little bit with some cornstarch, or just you can just have it low simmer for a while and get some of that, let it thicken up. If you wanted to turn it into other things and you're not sure if what you're gonna do with it, maybe separate it out, or you can leave it as is until you decide, because if you are doing a savory dish, you probably don't want as much sugar or agave as I'm putting in. But if you are, by all means, let's see where we're at. Hope I don't burn myself. So just so you can see it's pretty thin still. And that's okay. I just want to kind of see where we're at. That's still pretty tart. Okay, I probably put about a half a cup in there on that turn. Make sure that you watch the bottom of your pan too, because sometimes, depending on what coatings you have on your pan, it might end up burning and sticking, and you don't want chunks of burnt stuff coming up in your food. So just make sure that you have it kind of on a medium simmer. Don't have a rolling boil. We don't need to go crazy with it, and make sure that it's moving around. Okay, I'm gonna test this again. Okay, clean spoon. Ooh, we're so close. So close. Just a little more. A little more. Mine are actually pretty tart. But I'm liking where this is going. So that was probably about a quarter cup. So in total, what do we got? Like a cup? Cup of agave? Kind of more than I was expecting, quite frankly. I figured that it would be a little bit sweeter than that, but it's okay. A little healthier than the sugar, because heaven knows at that point I probably would have ended up having like, 3 or 4 cups of sugar. We don't want that. That's overkill. Okay. Get that extra. Now, if you want to go crazy, I know you see some of this extra pulp in there. If you want to go crazy and really sieve it out, you can. I just like it in there, so I'm leaving mine in. Okay. That is perfect. That's just where I want it to be. And like I said, mine's a little bit thin. I kind of want it thin for a dipping sauce that I'm planning on making later, but if you want to thicken yours up, this would be the time to do it. Or store it in the fridge for up to a week. I wouldn't go too much more because there's no preservatives in this. Or you can freeze it and then decide later. I would freeze it in little, whatever container size that you want for portions. And then you can, add garlic and soy sauce. You can make it savory. You can make it a dipping sauce. You can make it into all sorts of things. You can make jam out of this. The sky's the limit. This is just kind of the starting point. And wanted to show you. Thanks for coming along.